We'll discuss heart murmurs in a simple way. Because this topic can become heavy, I've divided it into two parts. In part 1, we'll cover the basic approach, systolic murmurs, mitral valve prolapse, and early diastolic murmurs. Don't memorize murmurs as a long list. At the bedside, use one sequence: timing, location, radiation, maneuvers, and severity clues. This pattern makes murmurs easier. Auscultation helps you suspect the lesion, but echo confirms anatomy, severity, and hemodynamic impact. First ask, is it systolic, diastolic, or continuous? Then describe shape, pitch, quality, site, and radiation. A harsh murmur, a blowing murmur, and a low-pitched rumble point toward different diagnoses. Remember, a loud murmur does not always mean severe disease. Loudness depends on turbulence, flow, and gradient. Now start with the first major systolic pattern, the ejection systolic murmur. This is crescendo-decrescendo and usually suggests outflow obstruction. On the left side, think aortic stenosis, or HOCM, causing left ventricular outflow obstruction. On the right side, think pulmonary stenosis causing right ventricular outflow obstruction. Aortic stenosis is harsh, heard at the right upper sternal border, and radiates to the carotids. HOCM is dynamic, so it gets louder when preload falls, like standing or Valsalva strain. In aortic stenosis, late peaking, soft A2, and slow rising pulse suggest advanced disease. Next, holosystolic murmurs. These run from S1 to S2 because the pressure gradient persists through systole. Mitral regurgitation is heard at the apex and radiates to the axilla. Tricuspid regurgitation is lower left sternal edge and louder with inspiration. VSD is also near the lower left sternal edge, but is usually harsh and may have a palpable thrill. Diagnosis depends on timing, location, radiation, and bedside behavior. Now, look at mitral valve prolapse. This gives a mid-systolic click, followed by a late systolic murmur. Standing or Valsalva strain reduces left ventricular volume, so the valve prolapses earlier. The click moves earlier and the murmur becomes longer. Squatting increases filling, so the click moves later and shorter. Finally, for part 1, early diastolic murmurs. These are usually pathological and should not be ignored. Aortic regurgitation is high-pitched, blowing, and decrescendo. It is best heard with the diaphragm when the patient leans forward in end expiration. Look for wide pulse pressure, bounding pulse, and a hyperdynamic apex. Pulmonary regurgitation is usually heard at the left upper sternal area with pulmonary hypertension. That completes part 1. Watch part 2 for mid-diastolic murmurs, continuous murmurs, dynamic maneuvers, and severity clues.